Welcome back already, and that video still doesn't like me. Refuses to play the end, but we're good to go. We're here. We've got a Game 2 draft now. Not Today versus Cloud9 G2A. The best in video games. What am I kidding? They don't sponsor us. We've got Not Today versus Cloud9, and it's going to be Game 2 with Cloud9, leaving things 1-0. They're going to go back to the Darkseer Night Stalker duo that worked for them in Game 1. Bit surprised to see they actually got the 4th pick Darkseer. That was a value pick late in the draft. And something which I'm sure Not Today realized, like, oh crap, we didn't actually ban the Darkseer. And they also give back Ember Spirit, which is a great hero to have with Darkseer in your team. Darkseer and Ember together, great synergy. Darkseer and Night Stalker together, this is just a lot of firepower, a big threat to any heroes on the map. Not Today did take the Brax TA for themselves, something which they can put in Schofield's hand if they want to, and then snag the IO as their second pick. So that's where C9 targets some of the IO partners. They ban out the CK, ban out the Tiny. Not Today preferring to ban the Alk and Wyvern. Definitely can see why they ban the Alk. Would have rather have seen an Ember ban than the Wyvern. Wyvern is a very good counter to the IO, IO +1 relocates and just IO play in general, but I feel the Ember is a bigger problem hero for them. And Not Today pick up Shadow Shaman. When the old Not Today team, which now became Elite Wolves, used to run a lot of this as a support and liked it for its pushing power. You're on the dire side, you've got Serpent Ward, you've now got, well, you already had the TA, there's Roche taking potential push as well, and I can provide a lot of, I can provide the sustain, and we'll see how things come together, if it will be a kind of more early to mid-game push strat, or if it's going to be something else. C9 now just pick up Venomancer, so go for that solid support once more. So SVG just played pretty selflessly early on and then get the catch-up farm later as needed. And will likely just be the Veno Night Stalker as their support duo. Oh, actually, no, Brax can easily play the Veno mid as well. Veno great against TA. What am I talking about? This is just as likely a mid Veno as it is a support one.
5 seconds remaining.
And Veno known for being one of the better heroes to lane mid against the Templar Assassin. TA can still get some farm there, but Veno can really put a lot of pressure on you. See how the Veno would look to build if that's the case. Like, you can go for that Gale Poison Sting build, which wins your lane, but typically you want to have the wards max by level 7, which is where maybe you just say, I'll give TA a bit more farm, but then I'll have my optimal build by level 5, 6, 7. IO Bristle, though, Not Today. Pulling out what looks to be an aggressive dual lane / tri lane. This is a great way to kind of play against an Ember Spirit. Very low armor hero and Bristle. A lot of physical damage. You've got Quill Sprays, just as right-click base damage, and something which can not only stand up to an Ember Spirit, but possibly beat him in the lane itself. I wonder if you see this and think, let's send somewhere like Ember to the off lane with a support. Let's mix things up a bit. We saw how Ember matched up against TA last game, not all too well. Maybe Ritsu kind of favors himself, like, oh, I can do better than that guy did against the TA. But we'll have to wait and see exactly what comes out. As C9, their last pick will kind of put the pieces together, since the Veno can be a core, can be a support. And C9 really feels like they've just gotten all their comfort picks. I mean, it's so hard to ban and draft against them. Like, you can't really fault too many of Not Today's bans. The Ritsu AM gets taken down the first stage. The SF ban is such a strong mid to have when you're playing on the Radiant side. Alchemist is kind of, in some ways, just as problematic a hero as the Ember Spirit. The Wyvern, the one ban I didn't really like from Not Today. And even this Necro ban, we saw last game, I mean, pretty much we've seen throughout the qualifiers, it is Ritsu who plays the Ember Spirit for the most part, so I'm not entirely sure Necro would have been the hero to go for. Maybe they'd mix it up, put Ritsu mid and do Brax safe lane on a Necrophos, or have like Necro go mid, but this is the pick more of what I was expecting. They get Razor last, so not something I've seen Brax handle, but something which is great against TA in the mid lane. And we should see probably match up in that 1v1. I don't really think there's much Noct can do to dodge it. TA just wants to go mid regardless of, like, when you pick the TA, you pretty much locked in your mid from the get-go. Putting it in the safe lanes, kind of, you really want to have the bottle. I guess you can go safe lane, get a bottle, and try to get like a 1v1 matchup that's favorable, but you don't want TA against Darkseer as well. So there's not really any options other than sending TA mid, and that's where Razor's kind of guaranteed to have a favorable matchup there. And that's when NoT.TodaY also want to make sure they focus and prioritize winning some of these other lanes. The Eye of Bristle against the Ember Spirit lane, the safe lane, and they get Queen of Pain last. I wonder if they actually are going to just say, let's send TA safe lane. Now that I've talked about how TA kind of locks in your mid, if they're going to completely just do something different because of the bad matchup TA gets there. DDX actually taking the Queen of Pain, so I'll have to wait and see. Schofield on TA, so here we go. Game 2, C9 winning game 1 of this best of 3, and it is going to be NoT.TodaY in the winner bracket though, so should they lose, they still are in the tournament with a shot. They actually took out Leviathans in their opening match, so started things strong with a slight upset there with a 2-0, and got themselves into the round 2 of the winner bracket, the quarterfinals. With plenty more America action after this, guys. We'll have Root taking on Complexity, and we'll also have the High Council of Wizards and Priests taking on the Elite Wolves here at the Summit for America action today. Dota 2, guys, it just never stops. You know, you had 5 days of non-stop coverage of the Frankfurt Majors qualifiers. Summit 4 is coming right back, and it's going to continue over the coming weeks. And then you've got MLG this weekend. We've got the Singapore tournament, Nanyang. It's going to be a lot of fun. So looking forward to all the great Dota that's coming our way, especially some of these big international events like MLG and Nanyang. There should be some fantastic Dota played at them, and also kind of the first big test for C9 coming this weekend, since they will be at MLG itself. Hopefully nothing too problematic. Oh, that's the wrong screen. I meant to go in game. I went from the draft and I was like, oh, let's get out the draft screen, and then I went to a different overlay, which was not the one I wanted to go to. A bit of lag. Hopefully nothing too serious here on the American servers. But looks like my ping is a-okay, but ping obviously doesn't always tell the whole story if it's spiking or just unstable, or maybe the players themselves are having internet issues, so hopefully something that'll get sorted in due time. But now, we're gonna wait this one out and hopefully have a resume fairly shortly. C9, draft-wise, I really like their draft. I think they've just gotten comfort, not only comfort picks, but they've just got a really strong synergy between some of these heroes. The Darkseer especially pieces everything together so well. We saw it last game, what MSS can do on this, and his initiations are on point. You've got the AoE teamfight combo of the Darkseer with the Ember Spirit Sleight of Fist with it. Well, once he gets the Battle Fury, the Venomancer Poison Nova, and then even just before that in the early to mid game, you've got Darkseer who's got Iron Shell and Surge, which you can put on an Ember Spirit who wants to get aggressive. The way Ritsu plays this is he's hyper aggressive. Once he gets like level 8 to 10, gets his early game items, he goes and fights a ton, and then he opens up the farm for the supports. You give the safe lane to someone like SVG or 1437 if it's daytime. The supports pick up some items. So last game, both Veno and Night Stalker pick up Midas and Ags by like 30 minutes into the game. These are items which can just turn in the game so heavily in your favor because of the vision advantage from the Night Stalker, the teamfight potential of Venomancer, that it really just carried C9 over the finish line. In the game they were pretty comfortably already ahead, but those were kind of like, that was the finishing blow for them. So we'll see if NoT.TodaY have a plan. As far as what they want to do overall, I mean, looking at their draft, it is the Eye of Bristleback. Lane dominance to me is more the name of the game, and not all the lanes, as TA will match up very poorly mid if she does in fact go there against the Razor, but it's focusing on a few lanes. So Io, Bristle in the off lane, the Queen of Pain in the safe lane potentially. And their last pick was, who was their other support pickup? I'm drawing blanks here. We'll see in just a second as I try and recall what exactly that was. Gosh, how is my memory this bad, guys? Oh, well, right now, I'm just gonna endure this pause. Any good effigies? I'm always up for some good effigies. Man, not today. Where are your effigies at? Got just the one for DDX, of course, the DDX Invoker. I like it. Disappointed. That's some poor effigy game coming out. Shadow Shaman, of course, I even talked about it. So Shadow Shaman gets picked up, and looks like they should hopefully be ready now that he has picked up his hero. And on the raid side, got a good old Night Stalker. Decent effigy game. Not bad. Tibbers. Some clowny effigies from Brax. Trust Brax to do something a bit clowny and different. double TP from C9. That is, you know, I've seen a lot of level 1 TPs plant wards, but this is one of the first double TPs. Like, not even to completely separate lanes as well. One TP bottom, one TP mid. Neither TP to the offlane. Normally these TPs go to the offlane to sure it up. As I say that, we're in for some funky lanes by the looks of things. Ember will be going mid. Razor will be going offlane. I wonder if C9 are trying to anticipate these lanes. Anticipate like TA going safe lane and Quap going mid by doing this. Or if they just feel Ember is fine mid against TA. Last game we saw that TA can bully the Ember in lane if you get those early last hits, and it was like 17 CS to 4 at one point. Brax was just demolishing that lane. What do I see? Early Dire Ward on the high ground, immediately scattered up by the Radiant side. And the advantage of getting their wards out early is they do get that vision and intel. SVG with sentries ready to go, so we'll be looking to D1. At first, it looks like they want to see if they can find any kills, although bottom lane is where NoT.TodaY are headed, and it looks like GoDz on the IO should be able to secure this. It does mean TA at mid will not have a bounty rune. Goes Boots first. Wow, he's really anticipating a Razor matchup. So Boots versus TA. That was a big reason why Brax won the matchup, was that he did have a Wraith Band as his starting item. So this starting item, not really ideal for versing an Ember Spirit. And even the Shadow Shaman mid, I think, again, they're dual laning mid because they thought they'd be the Razor. It's going to be a 2v2 mid. We never see 1v1 mids anymore, it feels like. Oh, Ember gets the Tango on the ward, takes an Ether Shock, which he's just going to heal off entirely. So that Ether Shock somewhat wasted, as the Tango ward gives you double the regen. So not exactly the best mana usage from the Shadow Shaman. And now he takes a Gale as well. Ember trying to get that level 2 so he can have the Flame Guard, which could lead to a kill on Shaman, but it doesn't look like we're going to see it just yet. Bottom lane, we've got Darkseer 1v1 against the Eye of Bristle. And I think these lanes were very much set up to have the best lane possible against Eye of Bristle, which is the Darkseer. So you want to send the Darkseer mid, then you've got to think about your other lanes. Can Ember farm in the off lane? Answer, probably not great if he's up against like a Shadow Shaman plus Quap lane. So they want to give Ember the best lane possible for a good early game start. And then from there, they can figure things out as far as who needs farm and where they can get it. So as much as they don't have the ideal hero mid against the TA, it's very much because of the Ember not being able to go to the safe lane and have a good time. And the Eye of Bristle will be the kings of the off lane in this game. And Darkseer just happy to drop Iron Shells and kind of hold his own for the most part. Reaching XP here and there, get a few CS if possible with the Iron Shell, but even if he doesn't, he's going to get at least experience out of this lane. I say that, he's still level 1. Getting close to that level 2, but not quite there. In the off lane, oh, DDX, got to keep an eye on him. He takes a few nukes, Brax, just for a 1-1 build so far. Points in the Plasma Field and Static Link. Looks like SVG going to start game to work, stacking some Ancients, just trying to maximize their efficiency. And we talk about C9 and farming, well, it's all about the farming efficiency, but with NoT.TodaY, it's all about making me miss kills. They get first blood, the Eye of Bristle strikes, Darkseer goes down, and that was because he was still level 1, in fact. Didn't have Surge available, and they managed to get on top of him. Immediately, GoDz going to go for that 2-minute rune, which is probably also where Darkseer thought he was safe. He's like, I think Io's going to go for this rune. Let's try and get some XP. It was not the case, and you see the first blood picked up. Darkseer now goes back, hits level 2 immediately, even close to level 3. Yeah, very funky lanes coming out. C9 just forced to adjust, and they're looking to go in for more. Bristle back. Has not got the best ability to catch up to the Surge. Now he does. It's going to be a second kill going their way. C9 losing an Ember at mid as well. At the same time, it looks like they're going to get a return kill on the Shadow Shaman as well as the TA. So it was a 2-for-1 at mid, losing Ember. I think the Ember died first. Yes, Ember died first, then they got the 2 kills, which means he didn't get any XP. More money for being in the air, although one of the kills, I believe, was split. Bristle. No, okay, sorry, wrong about that. Ember got the first kill, then he died. So Ember did get golden XP for the first kill. So not the end of the world, and it was a 2-for-1 trade. So the mid trade good for C9, but again losing Darkseer at bottom. This is not proven to be a very pleasant lane for MSS on the Darkseer. Brax doing just fine in the off lane. His 1v1 play has been formidable. throughout the past, not just past week, I mean, it's always been familiar, but we've really seen it just win games for C9 from time to time. During the Frankfurt Majors, it felt like not many mids could match up to him outside of maybe Yua, who seemed to have a pretty good time against him. But again here, Brax at mid doing just fine. Well, in the offlane this time, but in the kind of 1v1 doing just fine. It feels like it's mid. It's a Quap versus Razor. You're like, oh, that's a mid matchup. No, it's happening in the offlane. Oh, Quap safe lane. Alright, Soccer back top now. No points in the Crippling Fear yet, so no silence means unlikely to find too many more kills. And it's bottom lane where the Darkseer is rotating to the jungle, knowing there's not a whole lot he can get out of lane, and there's such high kill threat for him. Shadow Shaman searching around, trying to find him, looping through trees. They're even pinging out the camps here. It looks like TA wants to go in and check out what's going on. As I say that, Darkseer gets scouted. Uh-oh, Surge is going to run him right into the Shaman as well as the TA. Meld Strike Refraction. Another kill onto MSS. Very troublesome start. Schofield now on the back foot. Lost his refraction for starters, but we'll have another one up in a couple of seconds, so doesn't look like he's going to be going down. Now the Ember, Boots, Bottle, as well as the Wand. It's level 4. This is kind of where you want to really think about giving him some solo experience, just to get him towards the items he needs, and well, the levels he needs, more than anything. Very much a level-dependent hero that's picked not because he needs to get a ton of farm early on, but does want to get some levels. And oh, another Shackles from Angel. One more right-click and TA gets the kill. Schofield picks up his second in a row with the help of Angel and the Shadow Shaman. This Shadow Shaman pick providing some great lockdown for the team, but it's bottom lane. Ewo getting chased down by a Night Stalker. He's not going to commit. CCI rotating in and gets cold feet, even though there were no tether regen, no bottle charges, and even no overcharge. Could have been a possible kill there if maybe he'd fully been able to check that. Or he just decided, like, yeah, IO tether alone is going to provide enough movement speed, and chasing through those trees when he's got backtrack is always going to be tricky to do. So wards get planted. They want to have more vision of Darkseer should he try and jungle, be able to just do as much as possible there. Keep the pressure up. Right now, not today. I think they know last game they pressured well, but didn't follow it up with towers objectives, and it was very much the pressure came too late. The farm advantage was already going C9's way. This time around they have better lanes. They're not losing in terms of overall laning farm, and that means if they can get some kills pressure, they are going to get off to an early game lead, and we're seeing that here. About a 1500 gold lead going their way. Nothing too insurmountable just yet, but we'll see what C9 look to do next. They are winning this offlane pretty handily. DDX forced to TP out as Brax goes in, throws the plasma field. He's in deep here. There is no one backing him up. TPs could just bring him down, but I think he feels like he needs to create this kind of space with how badly these other lanes are going. Just wants to be able to apply that pressure. Schofield now made just goes in the Mel. There's going to be TP retaliations potentially from NoT.TodaY. They don't even need it. They just rotate in heroes and it's enough. They turn it around, bring down the Night Stalker. I guess quote-unquote space for the other lanes, but doesn't really feel like the best trade for C9. Maybe it's found Schofield here. Schofield goes with a Melt Strike. This one will be close. He's going to man up and try and fight this. No refraction, and Schofield gives a freebie to Ember. That gives him his level 6, a full level out of that. Oh, TA, you're on a killing spree. A huge chunk of gold as well. That was a bit sloppy and completely unnecessary. Oh dear. Not what they wanted to do.
Under attack. Dire's structures are fortified.
That one just felt like a bit of a brain fart. Walking like through the river to get to that bottom room when he could have gone like the safe route on his side, stayed on his bank. Instead he traversed the dangerous waters and gave up a kill. And been looking to go in and see if he can find any stacks. For now it's just going to be some safe Dire jungle farm, although it's not... Okay, that's it. The courier coming is his, so it's not Dire courier scanning him out anymore.
Radiant's middle tower is under attack.
In the bottom lane, Brax is now rocked up, deciding the offlane just a bit too dangerous for him. MSS is going to head up there, just drop iron shells, and he's going to be the tower defender for now. Remember himself, Max Flame Guard, and is ready to head back towards this middle lane. It's a decent ancient stack, now a triple. Prep for the TA. You can see, despite what they wanted to do with the Shadow Shaman mid, pressuring Ritsu, he is the top net worth hero for the time being. Always seems to be seeing those things. You can get kills on them early, but they will farm well. They will win their lanes, and generally have no problems at all keeping up, despite giving up kills here and there. To me, a 4-2-2 build coming out from Razor. So maxing the nuke early, going back for static link, unstable current. Angel has level 6 now, so now is where NoT.TodaY have the ability to pressure towers. They can drop the Serpent Wards, look for towers, look for some dives, but now they're looking to get this bottom tier 1. They haven't got Shadow coming down here, but the tower's low, and Brax himself could be in a bit of a tough spot. Doesn't get the static link off too great. He gets 42 damage out of this. Night Stalker gets a kill. Now Brax will TP out as well. Puts Zero in the bind tier. The Plague Ward gonna block him in. 1437 says, let's get the hell out. The TP will not succeed, and DDX gets him with a Sonic Wave, and now the TP bottom from Shadow Shaman. They'll get the tier 1 and possibly even go for more. I guess going for the tier 2 may be a bit of a push, especially if you're trading for mid. That's not really... Like, at this stage you've got a tier 1, and you should look to just take a tier 1 and not trade. Tier 1 and tier 2 for a tier 1 is still okay, but to me this tier 1 mid tower is not something NoT.TodaY just want to give up without a fight. And yeah, Shadow Shaman swings back in and will look to defend it. So C9, Ritsu now, 1600 gold. Probably see the Boots of Travel rush, which has become so popular. Oh boy, some efficient Razor farm from Brax, farming all 3 camps at once, or at least that seems to be the plan. One of the great things you can do with this hero as far as jungling efficiency goes, and clip all 3, take out the 2 camps, now just finish off the mud golems. 1437 will look to take the safe lane farm. That's going to be where he feels he can be of most use. Trying to farm a Midas up. It is daytime for now as well, so 12 minutes in he'll probably start looking to make rotations once more. May even look... Okay, no ultimate just yet, not level 6. Brax swoops in and won't be able to really pose any big kill threat here with his presence. Not until nighttime at least. That's when you could see something happen with Night Stalker having the silence. But it will be Brax just going towards the top lane, trying to get some more farm of data sites. That's the place to be. That's where he needs to also just defend the tier 1. That static link gets immediately cancelled, only taking 7 damage. Not all too worrisome for a Bristleback, who now see Schofield on the TA farming the Ancients and grabbing a rune first. Hoping, fingers crossed for that double damage rune. Is DDX actually dying to this? Okay. Blink TP. He'll get himself barely out of there. And it was Io with the DD rune. So it looks like it was a DD rune up top. And that's going to go the way of the Wisp. So just the bounty rune for the Templar Assassin. Not the oh-so fantastic DD. And his Desolated timing looking pretty good right now. Has the first Mithril Hammer. A couple more minutes. And could be looking at a decent time. Razor looking just for that casual Blade of Alacrity. So we see the Yasha picked up. We're seeing a bit of Sanjin Yasha now on Razors. Vats has been really favoring this build for the huge movement speed you can get early on. Even when he needs BKB, he'll always get that Yasha first. Go like Yasha BKB, or even sometimes the SMY. Full SMY into BKB. You don't want to buy... BKB is one of those items you just can't really afford to buy too early on. Especially in games that may drag out. If you can end the game fast off of it, or get a massive lead, sure. But if you're, this game is not going to... I mean, the way C9 play also just doesn't favor getting fast BKBs, because they do play more of the slow game, the long game. Looking to maximize their farm efficiency. Ritsu feeling very confident in his farm here. You've got to kind of look at what can catch him out. Shadow Shaman Hex being the big thing. A Corp Orchid may be on the menu as well at some point, but for now it's just a Shaman with Hex that could prevent him getting that Remnant escape. And Shaman, as a result, would love to be able to farm a Blink. That's just something that's going to be tricky to do. Tower gold is probably the best way to do it, and that's where I'd love to see NoT.TodaY go for some tower pushes. They're going to drop the Surf Mods up top and start taking towers. Get Shadow Shaman some money towards that Blink Dagger, and then you can prioritize ganking more. So now, grouping up, taking towers, and then later transition into a more smoke gank, pick-off oriented style of play. When you've got the Shaman Blink Initiation, you can pick off people like Ritsu and Ember. We'll see Shaman even get credited the last hit for the tower. Up to 1200 gold, halfway to his Blink. And then out mid to see which direction he heads with his items. Wouldn't be surprised just to see a straight Battle Fury rush. And Quap still not showing signs of what item will come out yet, which is also sometimes a nice idea. If you're worried about Ember, like if you see the Orchid coming, like you see in Oblivion stuff, that's where Ember can just rush a Manta Style. It forces the Manta Style out, but it completely negates Queen of Pain's early game. Like Queen of Pain's more, you want to have that good early game, so you're willing to buy a Manta Style, slow down your Battle Fury if it means Queen of Pain not snowballing, not getting kills. Got the Avatar TA. No Roche just yet, has the Desolator pick up. Schofield's just been able to farm these Ancients continuously, stacking them as well at the same time. Whoa, triple Fire Remnant. Gets the Flame Guard out as well. You can't shackle him when he's next to you. There's going to be a relocate. This may just save his life, and he's got no Remnant out. Ritsu, he's overextended. The Magic Wand helping keep Angel up, and Ritsu's regretting that one. Not a play you can make and be as aggressive against Io. Ooh, mistakes were made. Now NoT.TodaY. Look for this T1 mid tower. Brax rocks up with a Plasma Field, but defending not easy against the Bristle. Bristle's got Vanguard, Sand Shreds. He is at his prime. This is where bringing him down with max passive and Quill Spray is so difficult to do. Top lane SVG does take out the IO on the return relocate. Managed to pinpoint his location. MSS, how's his farm looking? Does have money for the mech now. Imagine he'll be picking up. Doesn't TP himself home. It looks like top lane. They may realize Roche is going on because they've grouped up top to take a tier 1. And it will be a Battle Fury rush for. Oh, actually no. I mean, this could be the Lincolns as well if you see an Orchid coming. But for now, signs of a Battle Fury from Ritsu. Mid lane Brax goes, and it's very much let's try and at least keep up on farm. They've got the better hero lineup to fight, to push with, and we're just going to try and avoid them, play keep away, go for our own little bit of farm here and there. Brax now skilling up the ultimate at level 10 and 11, has that to help him efficiently jungle. He needs to be a little bit careful. He's going to run into Schofield here, and he's going to get hexed up. Shackles could follow, but the Purge on the Not Angel. Ooh, boy, he almost went down there. That Purge coming out from the Unstable Current, doing damage as well as slowing down Angel as far as getting the follow-up disables after the Hex. Right, Sokka's Midas now comes online, and they're probably thinking a couple of Midases. Veno as well. Oh, both Midases come online. So both supports get their Midases. Don't expect C9 to be making too much happen anytime soon. They're down over 5k gold, and that's with 2 Midases. You can kind of add like 4,000 gold onto this deficit as we see Queen of Pain's reveal of the Orchid, gets the kill on the Night Stalker with a Sonic Wave. They've just, if you're NoT.TodaY, you're thinking, they just bought 2 Midases? Let's keep fighting. You've got an Aegis. Take every tower on the map, use the Shadow Shaman pick, which was looking like a fantastic pick to have right now. You've got Serpent Wards to siege with. You've got a Blink Hex to catch the Ember with. C9 are in trouble this game. We're going to have to see how they're going to play this one out. They can go back to that slow more farming style. It looks like it won't be a mech for Darkseid. It picks up a Vanguard instead. Maybe thinking the mech will come elsewhere, or just feeling the Crimson Guard's going to be the better item. It is great against the Serpent Wards. It's awesome. TA potentially. And Bristleback also a decent right clicker. SVG turns and gales. It's just Schofield shooting a bit too hard here. But meanwhile, his team is taking the tier 2, and Angel has held in the 7 wards. They may just go high ground. They've got Aegis, Deso, a Bristleback who's massive. Has a Sanjin Yasha coming out, and this high ground defense is tricky. They've only got 2 Plague Wards down. They weren't really prepped for this. 1437 gets blinked on, pops the Darkness, but he's already dead. Ember now, Battle Fury list, hard to defend. The wall was dropped, and that looks like we may see NoT.TodaY at least back off for the time being. Ewo, uh-oh, a bit too aggressive from him, but the IO not tethering him. He's actually gone for the tether onto Schofield, and Schofield on the front lines just wrecks him. Ember's down for the count. Schofield with the Poison Nova may have to pop his Aegis. This is an IO heal. Tether available. Not going to be able to do so in time. The Poison Nova damage was still ticking, and the Poison Sing finds the Wisp. Oh dear, C9, they're going to hold for now. Dark Seer Vacuum is available. Schofield's going to die a second time. 4 dead. High ground held. C9 get, quote-unquote, gifted a fight. They were definitely on the back foot there. They had a 6 or 7k gold deficit, and they have double Midas. I think one of the big things here is they did have the level 2 Poison Nova on Venno. Darkseer just level 1 wall, but that's kind of all you need at this stage, and Crimson Guard picked up. Very handy item to have in that fight. So we'll see what comes next from the team. Sonic Wave, another pickoff coming. DDX looking for this. He's juking in the trees. SVG will survive on about 5 HP, and they turn it around. Oh, we'll make it a team wipe. It may be a different fight. It may be a different sequence of events, but that was the 5th hero, the only survivor from that high ground push, getting caught out and just playing a bit too aggressive there. C9 back in this game all of a sudden. All it took was 1 high ground fight. Didn't actually use... Yeah, 0 buybacks used as well. That's the crazy thing there. They did lose Ritsu. Picking up his 4th death, but he's just back to farming now. So, we'll see what'll be coming out from Ritsu as far as after, like, the Battle Fury and more, and if he's even going to get there. Shadow Shaman has that scary pick-off potential that he's always going to be worried about. May see him transition to something like a Lincoln's afterwards, just to be able to block that Blink Hex, although the Shackles can immediately follow, of course. And they're going to chase through this dire jungle. They have been spotted. There was a ward recently planted, seeing all these C9 heroes take the top lane. And his SVG, after that last teamfight hold, up suddenly to a point boost of 1k gold. This guy had a Midas like 4 or 5 minutes ago, and he's just suddenly got 2k out of nowhere. Well, not out of nowhere, out of a team fight. Whoop, Shadow Shaman finds Razor. Had the IO relocated in as well, and now here comes the return play. C9 looking to fight at top. In goes Schofield, could blink forward. Does do so, just barely. The refraction preventing the poison from breaking the blink, and he's going to get 1 kill. The Crimson Garb is used, but it's too late. Have it make a difference. Barely surviving is Ember. Ritsu. Oh, no cancel on that TP, and it looks like Night Stalker should be fine off to the trees. Angels, 30 HP. It looks like he was the target. Ember was going on while all that was going down. Good news for C9 is Ember stays alive. His road to the Battle Fury still happening. So he'll farm out this bottom lane, and that'll get him most of what he needs to get there and complete it. 400 gold now away. Elsewhere on the C9 side, what other kind of key item pickups can we see? The secondary ag, we talked about the double ags when they come online, how much of an impact they can have, and Night Stalker with the point boost is still some ways to go. Venno's a little bit closer this time around. As far as Razor goes, it will be a plate mail as his follow-up to the SMY. So, AC possibly, or a Shiver's Guard. Just armor in general is what you need against the TA, the Bristle. Serpent Wards of physical damage. It's a very physical DPS focused draft coming out. Uh-oh, Ritsu in trouble. The Hex Shackles is there. Can they bring him down in time? Where's that Fire Remnant? He gets out of there. The follow-up damage just wasn't quite there in time. A lot of the Hex duration was just wasted as far as not dishing out right clicks and quills, whatever it may be, during it. use the Hex to let his team come in. Maybe a preemptive relocate. And it is going to be mid lane. Veno getting sniped by Schofield. Desolator doing work, and they're picking up bottom lane. They want to go high ground. They know the Veno's dead. They want to at least force out a buyback, or at least fingers crossed he doesn't have one so they can get this tier 3 tower. Serpent Ward's ready. They're likely going to drop these ones. Veno trying to hold on to the buyback for now. We'll have to see how long that one lasts. Bristle on the front line. Turns his back and just hopes for the best. No buyback just yet. Nice vacuum wall. They're going to lose. Io, goody. Playing too aggressive there on the front lines, and they push him back once more. Tower being focused. Brought down just barely. I think the last Serpent Ward attack actually brings it down. Just a tier 3 tower, and C9 hold with Veno not needing to buy back. Same time, not today. We're looking to strike once more. They double back, and often this is the kind of move that can catch you by surprise. You're not expecting them to be back here so soon, especially when Serpent Wards are on cooldown. You're like, okay, they'll back off and farm, but they're back and looking for a pick off. Night Stalker nearby. The courier could be a target. No, they're going to go for 1437. We've seen get the kill, and they need to find a quick escape plan. Blink TP is going to be the play from Shaman. He gets to the high ground. Queen of Pain blinks up. No cancel from MSS. Gets kind of close, but it's not going to cut it. The quick snipe onto the Night Stalker. They get out, and they're good to go. Bristle, though, in these last few fights has looked a bit squishy. It's taking a lot of damage very quickly. And the other key thing is, when he goes in the front lines like that, it's kind of just easy set for Razor to steal a lot of his damage. Io at top. Almost getting killed off by the Ritsu Ember. A lot of damage there, heals himself back up, and they can't really punish that unless Shadow Shaman can get there instantly, or he's already in position. As soon as Ritsu goes in, the Shadow Shaman can TP, but he kind of knows the time window he's got. Going with an Orca, there's going to be a relocate as well. No ultimate for Queen of Pain, and he survives the Orca duration, gets out of there. Nice play coming out from Ritsu. He'll TP himself home, leaves the Remnant so he can come back to lane, and he's just keeping lanes pushed out, pressured, trying to buy time for the C9 squad here. So we'll have a pause and a disconnect coming out from Goody. Oh. Alright, here we go. Just trying to sort out what's happening with our next games. Complexity versus Root, guys, is scheduled to start about now, which was what some of the teams were asking about. And we'll have Game 1 of that start during Game 3 of this series. So there may be some overlapping games, but if this is a 2-0, Complexity versus Root will come on right after, just so the teams aren't waiting too long and we don't have too many scheduled pushbacks. But for now, we'll obviously be sticking with C9 versus NoT.TodaY. If there are the simultaneous games, we'll fire up a second stream if we can and get both games covered for you guys. So C9 still in a tough spot here in game number 2, but it does feel like they've clawed things back a little bit. Things have at least stayed flat with the kind of 5 to 6k gold lead of NoT.TodaY. The question is if they can break high ground with this Aegis for me. If they get the Aegis, the Serpent Wards drop, is high ground going to get breached? Looks like Veno actually went for a Ghost Scepter over the Ags, and you can see why when TA did what she did earlier in the mid lane. Just solo kills the Veno to start the fight off, and then suddenly your high ground's exposed. It's better to stay alive and have a slightly weaker ultimate for your high ground defense as long as you've got the Poison Nova. If you can never get an ulti off because you're dying, it's not worth just trying to farm the Ags. So, I like that little pick up there. The Crimson Guard for Darkseid's been pretty effective as well this game. Hoping not to go for the mech, but it does feel like the Crimson Guards had, in some ways, a similar impact, and maybe more. For the Darkster himself, it makes him a lot tankier, and the Crimson Guard on your team seems to function similarly to a mech when there's physical damage coming out. The Serpent Wards and whatnot. So, hopefully have Goody reconnect here. Some of these pulls is just, unfortunately, making things push back as well, where some of the scheduling has caused some problems. But we'll see. how things hopefully unravel as far as some of those other matches. Definitely some great games happening today. Complexity versus Root should be fantastic, and really looking forward to see the Elite Wolves versus High Council match later on today. See what kind of shape High Council are in after their unfortunate loss in the Majors qualifier. It's going to be Ritsu Amber with now Battle Fury and 1700 gold. Clear what direction he goes if he's going to go for an all-out damage. I think with a high ground defense, your best bet may just be going straight into the Daedalus. Here we go, that high ground defense likely to be tested in the next 5 minutes. Aegis picked up. This one goes to the Bristleback, so we've seen in the last few fights, Bristle on the front lines getting just brought down and taken out very fast. Or he hasn't actually, what, he's died once the whole game? It just feels like he takes a lot of damage in a short period of time. So I don't mind seeing this come out. Unclear what Raze is getting just yet with the plate mail, but Shivers as well as AC still an option. And it looks like the plan is very much just to keep grouping up at this bottom lane. They are trying to brute force this lane of Rax. They really have got to get it with this Aegis. Otherwise, I see C9 getting back in this game. They're just being a bit more efficient. They're pushing out all these other lanes. And we're going to TP back nice and early, just to know he has to be there. He needs to be sleight of fisting. I'm curious if they try and make a play. They could look to smoke and burst down Shadow Shaman before the wards get dropped. It's always one of the kind of counter plays you can make to a Shadow Shaman push, is try and jump him. They've set up the Plague Ward wall and going to make things as difficult as possible for NoT.TodaY. Shadow Shaman gets the wards off though, so that's too late for that. They want to maybe just try and bring these down. 1437 in the front lines though, not going to be in too good of a shape, but they get the vacuum wall off, and that may actually keep their high ground alive for now. It repels the NoT.TodaY push. Io's low, Poison Nova ticking away. 8 HP, yeah. Poison Nova, no fatal damage though, no Poison Sting, no Gale. Rax chasing, one more Plasma Field comes out. Elo's low, Schofield, he's burning, they don't know he's here though. He comes out for the Venom, go Scepter! SVG had the chance to do it, he could have lived, he could have got this kill. Schofield still goes down, he kind of was a bit trapped there, could have looked for a blink escape I guess, rather than try to come out and make that play. Venno though, oh, I can just see what was happening, like his screen is up here, he's watching like further down, he's watching up here. Meanwhile, he's not actually watching his hero, he's entirely watching the heroes they're chasing, and then suddenly he's just like, wait, how'd my hero die? And it's a TA who popped out before he could really notice what's going on. So, definitely can kind of understand what happened there, and unfortunately for C9, they just had no idea that TA had melded on the high ground there. They do get the TA, so TA for Venno is a good trade for them, and more importantly than anything, they held their high ground. They're buying time. Aegis being whittled away at without even having to kill the hero that's holding it. And for NoT.TodaY, that's exactly not what they wanted to see happen when they got that next Aegis. That's the second Aegis and like the third time they've tried to break this high ground and not really come close. No damage done whatsoever to the melee Rax. 1 HP actually, Kappa. Well, Raze is going to reconnect and hopefully it's all okay. It looks like there's some unfortunate freeze thingy going on. I'm entirely sure what's up with that, but it looks like both teams back in the game, ready to go once more, and C9 still seem to be holding their own pretty well. So Crystallis now picked up, and he goes for an ultimate orb, so just the casual crit, deciding now they're in a stable enough position they can defend with the crit alone and go for a defensive item. Hex is there, Shackle should follow. Level 3, have they got the damage? I don't think they do. It's going to be close, he barely gets out of there. He didn't go very far though, he's at knock. Oh, here comes MSS! The vacuum, the Crimson Guard, he's going to save him. It may not be a mech, but he's not got enough. If he had a mech as well, it could have maybe been something. They get one kill, they're looking for a second. The Surge available. Queen of Pain's here though. Queen of Pain cleans up. That's not good for C9. Sound the alarms, the push could come. Angel does not have mana for the Serpent Wards, and more importantly, none of these lanes pushed out quite far enough. Middle lane, maybe the best bet. Ember and Darkseid both dying, and Nightstalker died at mid. That was the Queen of Pain who swept from mid to top lane who killed off the Nightstalker. And Sonic Wave, I believe, used for the Nightstalker kill. Oh, Ritsu. He got out, he survived the disable duration, but the Remnant was in the river. He needed, if he had a Remnant like way further back, it would have been a different story, but Just good control coming out from the Shadow Shaman of Angel, and he's got mana for a Serpent Lords. Are they going to try and swing in for a lane of Rax here? It's going to be too tricky, I feel, with both Darkseer and Ember Spirit respawning momentarily. And the Serpent Lords will just be dropped off. So they'll take an outer tier 2 tower. It was a full HP tower, so I feel like worthwhile to use the wards here. And also, just feels like they're not going to break high ground with this Aegis. So I think they just resign, like, okay, we're going to have to just give up a little bit here. Give them some room to farm. They're not going to even get these Ags up. That's a really scary thing. A Venom with an Ags could be coming somewhat soon if they're not careful. Night Stalker's Ags has been slowed down so much by these deaths. Even now with 8 deaths on Night Stalker. Venno, just the 4, but he's also had a slightly rough game from time to time, and he's still being forced to purchase wards continuously, which means his Ags progression is slowed down as well. Both supports. Normally this is around 30 to 35 minutes you see their Ags come out with the Midas pickups, but this game's been a bit rougher for the C9 squad. So we'll see what the two teams look to get done from here. NoT.TodaY, just brute forcing, no longer the plan, you've got to imagine. You could do it with the next Aegis and Cheese, or at least have a go. Like, that would be understandable. But trying to just take this Rax without an Aegis or Cheese, they've tried that so many times, and it hasn't worked. Like, the Serpent Wards not being influential enough when they go for those pushes, and that's been with an Aegis. They tried it with an Aegis on TA, then they tried it with an Aegis on Bristle. Hasn't worked. And there we go. Aegis will expire. Bristle will heal himself back up. And C9 look to move forward. They're seeing behind Brax. They may actually go on Brax here, but it's 14:37. Oh, top lane. Relocate up there. They saw this relocate, though. What's going to happen here? What's the play? Angel's in position. Dire Vision do see this. I think they just sacked the Wisp. He's trying to tether to Angel. They see him, though. Vacuum is there. They're going to try to chase him down. They want 2 here. He already used the Vacuum, so they can't cancel this TP, it looks like. They'll get just the 1 kill on Goody. I think perhaps Angel lucky to survive, but does buy some time for them to get into the high ground up top. No Serpent Ones, but they've got the Desolator damage. Darkseer, Silence up to start things off. We'll be looking for that Vacuum wall in just a second, but the Vacuum's still on cooldown. And that jungle fight, turns out that wasn't so bad. They bought a lot of time, and they break the high ground in the most odd way. It didn't work when they were brute forcing it. It works when they managed to create some space. Vacuum wall now. They want to just bring down the Rax. It looks like no glyph available. Can they get it? Schofield's losing his damage. Going for the BKB TP. He'll get out. And they get the Rax. Ewo will sacrifice his life for the melee Rax. Well worth it in the end, especially with the TA surviving. A tier 3 and a melee Rax for a Bristle. Absolutely fantastic for NoT.TodaY. They needed a Rax soon as well, it felt like, with their lineup starting to fall off, and both Brax and Ritsu starting to get fairly big. Ember now recognizing he needs that Lincoln Sphere. Gets one piece closer to it. With Shadow Shaman having Aghanim Scepter, one mistake and you're losing another lane of Rax. This is very unforgiving for C9. Holding on to buybacks may be paramount for them as well, I believe. Okay, he actually sold his Ring of Health. He bought it, then he sold it. I think his team / himself were like, hey, dude, you need buyback. This is one of those games where if you get caught out without buyback, we've lost the game. And even if you get caught out with buyback, you're still in a rough spot because you're using that Lincoln's money to stay alive. But you've got to just have buyback until you can buy the full Lincolns. Like, using your buyback money to have a full Lincolns is one thing. Giving up your buyback money just for an item in your stash, not worth it. As I say that, he buys it. So, to me, this is just not really a worthwhile way of playing. Oh my gosh. 1437's gem has been lost. Venomancer, deep in the enemy jungle, gives up a gem. And they get out. This is just so risky. Having no buyback on your Ember. Just looking to chase around the IO. Give as slow as there, tether out, will escape. Did have the tether target, and I mean, the upsides of this is you're buying the components and getting closer and closer to your Lincolns. The downside is it's an item sitting in your stash when you may need buyback. If you feel like you're going to die in a position where you're not going to need a buyback, like let's say he's pushed all the lanes out and dies up here, you can buy it before you die as well with your quick buy. Cloud9 still holding strong on the high ground. About 1,000 gold away from the Lincolns. They've gone back for the mech and probably a Greaves we'll see on Darkseer. Good against the Queen of Pain Orchid. Get rid of the meld potentially as well. And Bristle now looking to not just tank up, but start hitting hard. He's gonna Basher to go with this AC. Hasn't had to go for a BKB this game, which has left him room to go for more of this kind of carry-oriented build. Queen of Pain Hex gonna see more problems for an Ember Spirit, and that's where this Lincoln Sphere becomes even more valuable. Oh, in top lane, they were looking for the Ember. The Blink Hex couldn't quite catch him in time. He comes back out from the trees here. Really pushing his limits, knowing that that Shaman Blink was going to be on cooldown for a little longer, and going to use that vision for their advantage. So for C9, this game will keep on going towards the late game, and that's exactly what they want. Get their Ags up on the supports and play the long game. I'd love some pickoffs as well. Have they got the control for this? It's not easy to kill this Queen of Pain. All they've really got is a Blink Vacuum. Their lockdown is actually pretty lacking. And against the BKB, they really have no way of killing the Queen of Pain. They smoke up and it looks like they want to head elsewhere. Maybe a Roshan. Unfortunately for them, Roche is at a max respawn. Oh, and also they've been scouted out by some wards here. They've also got to defend now as well. They've got problems back at base. Home in trouble, as a certain Winter would say. Now the Surf Ward's going to be dropped very defensively, not next to a tower or any actual racks here. They're going to focus down the range racks. Not the biggest objectives. Gofield look for the BKB TP out. Will be successful. Meanwhile, mid lane. Decent damage done to the tier 3. And NoT.TodaY are slowly gaining ground. Does cost him a Shadow Shaman. Ward's not planted in the ideal location. So C9 will have their work cut out for them, and that's just where making these aggressive plays out on the map can't really happen until they push out their creep waves. NoT.ToDAY's high ground pushes just happens too fast. Close. So the Lincoln Sphere was there, so it was always going to be tricky to do. He could Orchid then insta-hex though. So the thing is, do you have the damage is always the question. You Orchid then insta-hex him, you've got to do 1800 HP worth of damage. In Queen of Pain alone, you'd struggle to do that. You'd need the TA there. Aegis and Cheese picked up by Bristle as well as Queen. And again, we will see NoT.ToDAY pressure the C9 base with this, I imagine. No reason just to sit back and farm with this. 40 minutes in, you're thinking, we've got one lane of racks, we want another. We don't want to go late game against this lineup. The more items the Ember gets, the more annoying this game will be. We're still at that pre-dataless phase even for the Ember Spirit, so definitely a good timing window, and they are now grouped up at this bottom lane. The TA not there for the time being, but Schofield likely to kind of head down, make a beeline towards that bottom lane. May try and force out a Remnant here at mid. Is he pinging us out as if they want to go for a kill? But he's going to Remnant out, so plays it safe. Good map awareness coming out from Ritsu, just kind of piecing together that there weren't enough heroes showing at bottom lane and that he was in danger. And Razor now completes an AC for this fight, so it won't have buyback. Is an Ember buyback in 200 gold. If he gets a kill or something, he may have it, but for the time being, let's be very careful with this positioning. Ritsu is going to be on the front lines for now. Ewo offered it up. He's been silenced. He's going to have a relocate back, and then we'll save the Aegis, but it's mid lane. They've gone in with the Serpent Wards. I'll get a range racks here. The rat is real. NoT.ToDAY. BKB TP out again. We've seen this 3 times in a row. Schofield just happy to play the chip game. Take one building at a time. Goody now could be in some trouble here on the IO. What's the escape plan? Vacuum Wall is there. That'll catch him. Queen of Pain will just blink out, and that may leave Ewo alone. He's got an Aegis, but this is just a position where he'll die twice. He's got no way out, and that's going to be Aegis and your life. Ewo. He's got no solutions to this one. And C9 do lose a tier 3 and a range racks. So by no means an outstanding victory for them, but it's still something. Problem is, they can't just keep making these trades, like a couple of kills for 1 Rax, because eventually you run out of Rax. You don't run out of lives. As long as the game is going on, you'll keep on respawning here, and that's something C9 have to be wary of, that eventually too much will be lost in their base. So now they're just trying to buy themselves time, get that next couple of items up. The Racer's AC now there, the Ember going for a double Crystallis. He's been orchided up at bottom lane. Looking to go in, he turns and fights the cheese from DDX. Actually gets the Remnant out as well. A lot committed from both sides. The cheese on the co-op saving his life. Meanwhile, back in the mid lane, that's where another fight's breaking out. Brax has been hexed up himself. Searing Chains comes down onto Angel. Ember's back in the fray here. Boots have traveled in, and he's actually got a great way to fight this one. Schofield's just going to burn, and he's dead. Ember not done. There's 3 on the sidelines now. They killed the TA, the Bristle, and the IO. This is the problem with that Bristle going down with the Aegis. This exposes his team so much, and C9 have capitalized. Brax thinking about going to the high ground to at least do some damage here, likely wanting to force out buybacks. See if Bristle alone will be able to defend this one, or if they're going to need to use a buyback or 2. It's Wisp dead without buyback. TA is the one who has it, and be careful about giving this Racer too much damage. Gets an extra plus 100, and they're going to get at least a range Rex. May go for the melee here. Bristle marches forward. He's going to be careful. Does have buyback available. Not Angel. Gets down the Serpent Wards, but they may just end up being food. It looks like Ritsu is focusing them down to just pave the way for the high ground push. Brax realizes, well, this is a troubling situation. It's DDX at bottom. It looks like a buyback was actually forced. He was going for the rat play, and that's where the Nightstalker buyback came out. They were looking to stop the Queen of Pain, ratting them at bottom. There was a wall thrown out, and no rain tracks claimed, although it would have just been a rain tracks. At this stage, not a big deal. And the main thing that would offer C9 would be the actual money it brings in. And they can get that a bit later. It is only down to 97 HP now. Very close game now as we head into the clutch time. You can see the swing back up. It was a 20k gold lead going the way of the South American squad. But C9 have clawed back in. The double Crystallis Ember Spirit. Ready to complete a Daedalus soon. Has picked up a Demon Edge now. Just wanting that more reliable crit. And also just cost-effective plus damage when he went for the double Crystallis. I think feeling pressured to buy something to defend the high ground. And that was what he could afford at the 2k price point without even having to leave the base for a Demon Edge. Just very kind of cost-efficient use of your item slots to get this. If you're planning on going double Daedalus anyways. Very efficient way of playing. We'll see Abyssal Blade picked up. What's Darkseer thinking? Shivers probably. Definitely a game for Armor. I talked about it earlier when Razor went for the AC. Against TA, Serpent Wards, Bristleback. This is the game to stack decent chunks of armor. And C9 may have actually bought themselves a decent amount of time to pick up some more key items here. Brax, oh, he's hexed up. Where's that relocate? Nope, they decide against it. They bail. They get cold feet. And now 1437. He's got the scent. He's got an Aghanim Scepter. He'll see 3 here on the high ground. Not sure if he wants to go for this one. May force out a BKB. Yep, DDX's BKB's been forced out. Brax. Static Link's been immediately cancelled. I think they know they've got to defend bottom lane. The Rax is exposed and they're chasing. They want to march in, but again, they've got to keep an eye on mid lane. The rat is real. It's not really rat, it's just split push at this point. You defend one lane, we push another. You come back for that, we're pushing the other. It's just this two-pronged attack coming out from NoT.TodaY. 3 heroes at mid, 2 at bottom. And if you engage bottom, they either take mid Rax or they relocate in. Either way, you've got quick backup and more problems being created. You solve one problem, 2 more pop up. See an Orchid come out on 1437. Where's that push bottom lane? I can see him entering the base already. The Serpent Wards get dropped. This is the bigger issue than mid lane. Forget the kills. You're running out of Raxes here. They're going in for the melee Rax. The BKB from Schofield. Glyph now comes out into play and Schofield's going to go down. No melee Rax for you. Angel and the Shadow Shaman gets the blink escape. Still Vision going the Nightstalker's way. It looks like he wants to chase this one down. The range Rax at mid. Already taken, and it looks like there we go to see Angel likely go down. He's got a full stop and a blink. In comes the IO Bristleback. The relocate's there, but it's Razor showing up to the party. Takes out the taxi driver as well. Elo looking for the TP. From the front goes Braxy's not enough damage. Had 100 stolen, but it wasn't going to be enough. And now C9 got to be thinking, let's go back the other way. We're slowly losing our base, although this melee Rax will heal itself back up over time. Oh boy, was that close. Luckily they still had a glyph. The TA just trying to suicide to take the melee racks with BKB. Current position is still salvageable for NoT.TodaY. They've got buybacks on their cores. Bristle himself, as well as the 2 heroes on the sidelines. Ewo, though, puts himself in a terrible position and may just force out his own buyback by getting caught out here. Does buy some time. But at this stage, 15 seconds, your racks may just go down. It looks like they're just going to give it up. Rather than use their buybacks, they give up the 1 lane of racks. But that is a big pickup for C9. It just alleviates some of the pressure coming their way. And C9 have just clawed themselves back in, tooth and nail. It's been a scrappy one, and they've been having to scramble constantly and hustle to get from lane to lane to defend, but they have managed to do it. Cloud9. Quite the comeback. They are looking to relocate in. They see Brax, who BKB less. This is not the relocate you wanted. You want to maybe bring in someone else. Brax gets surged, pushed out of there. Has got Mionia now.
Regeneration.
Probably thinking about the next Roshan on the NoT.TodaY side. For C9, you're thinking, if we let them get Rosh, are we going to lose another lane of racks? Or can we defend? Should we contest Rosh? Can we contest Rosh? All these things have to be going through, especially the captain 1437's mind right now. But for Ritsu, it's all about keeping these lanes pressured and pushed out. The top lane where they took the super creeps, he can deal with that. He's got Daedalus Crystallis now. He can buy the second Daedalus, but see how much he prioritizes buyback. If they're going to be giving up Roshan and having to defend, that's where buyback becomes slightly more important. At the same time, something to keep in mind is, if you're buying back, it means there's a little window where you're dead and they're taking your racks. The one hero that doesn't affect as much is Ember, because if he has got a fire remnant, he can immediately be back in the fight. It's still something you've always got to keep in mind. Top lane now being pressured. Brax. Mjolnir in hand, and I mean, you can additionally put on the Ember Spirit should he get focused down. Feels like C9 have a lot of confidence now. They push deep into the dire jungle. Not worried about what's happening with the lanes for the most part. And you can see here, they're the ones ahead. A 20k gold deficit is now a 5,000 gold lead. Experience-wise, they're looking good as well. It's NoT.TodaY smoked up, trying to make something happen. Roshan would be worthwhile for this smoke. We'll respawn. I think they'll see it before the smoke wears off, but they may find some kills first. We'll have to wait and see. There we go. Roche is back. No pings going out just yet. There we go. Now they've seen it. Will they make a beeline? It looks like that's the plan. Schofield accidentally hits a neutral, it seems. Whoa, that was seen by a Radiant Ward as well. That may reveal that they are headed towards the Roche pit. The C9, are they coming this way? Vision's just so limited for them. And it's daytime as well. 1437 pops the ultimate and makes a beeline towards Roche. Angel, Invis up. They're going to be too late. Where's that gem that you'd love to see? DDX now, BKB on the front lines here. They're going to look to fight this one. 1437 may just be giving up his life here. It looks like that's the case. Vacuum catches 2, keeps 1437 alive. Whoa! Whoa, whoa, mama. That's a interesting timing. Gives me time to kind of scope out what's going on here. So Ritsu has been hexed up. SVG has got Poison Nova off on 2. This Queen of Pain looks very dead. Yeah, this Queen of Pain is done for against the Poison Nova. Unless there's a relocate back home, and there's going to be a there's a tether at least. The heal's come into play. DDX, so cannot sustain himself. Goody also in some trouble. Losing 2 to start things off. The base perfectly fine. There's no pressure onto the C9 base, which is the perfect team fight to be taking. Well away from where they can get Siege. She's now on Schofield. Is it going to be enough? MSS won't be able to get out of there. Only now the Serpent Ward's come into play. Brax has just got too much damage output coming out from him. With this Mjolnir, Ewo turns his back. He's looking to run. He's got no way through the trees. I was about to say, if you've got Tengo's or Quelling Blade at this stage of the game, there's something wrong with you as a Bristle. You just don't have room for those kind of items, and it's a team wipe. As 2 C9 heroes are traded for 5 NoT.TodaY heroes with Aegis and Cheese. 3,000 plus gold swing, and most importantly, this Cheese and the Aegis are taken out of the picture. NoT.TodaY had their timing in the early mid-game, but it feels like it's now C9's game. C9 are the late-game team. Definitely where they appear strongest, time and time again. Kings of the late game. So different from the old C9 squad in some ways. With the old C9 squad was very unpredictable in their late game play. Sometimes it was amazing, sometimes it just left you thinking, what the hell just happened? This squad, though, has very polished late game. And they also always itemize and just prepare for the late game well, making sure they're maximizing their farm. And well, we're seeing now a second lane of Rax taken. As NoT.TodaY are put on the back foot. This is quickly maybe turning into a 2-0 win for C9. Ritsu shows up again with the TP in. Oh, Angel just walked into this one! It's a freebie! You can't do that! You cannot do that at this stage of the game. He's got buyback, but that's still so costly. The crit comes out on the Queen of Pain, chops away half the HP. Io's out as well. And now they can go for the Mega Creeps. They could even go for the Throne, but they'll play it safe for now. Take the Megas first. TA's going to be careful about getting in too close. Brax is just too strong. The vacuum will be slightly off the mark. A rare miss from MSS. As Shaman buys back, and Brax is like, wait a second, I was scared for a second about a buyback, but that's a Shaman. Look how little damage is dealt by the TA. That Meld Strike did next to nothing. It tickled Brax. They're backing off, deciding Bristle's close respawn is going to be enough to deter this push. Maybe worried about the buyback status of a few of their heroes. No, they're pretty healthy. Looking at just the Darkseer without. This Darkseer, by the way, with a Lotus Orb, a great item against the Sheepstick, the Orchid. He can Greaves off any Orchid on himself. He can Echo some of those items, and most importantly, he can save Ritsu. If Ritsu gets hexed up, Orchided or whatever it may be, you pop the Lotus Orb on him, you purge it off, and you're good to go. Oh gosh, even Fenner with an E-Blade now. The item pickups just keep on stacking. Well, with that, NoT.TodaY. I don't know what the play is here. You've got to try and find a pick-off. Okay, here's the play. We've got a Rapier. All right. There, I'm asking my questions like, what are they going to do? And they just show it to me. Boom, Rapier. And pick-offs. They can't just get Rapier and push. They've got to find pick-offs. They've got to catch C9 by surprise, and that's so hard to do when you've got Night Stalker. And as the day comes, the night... Well, as the day ends, the night immediately begins. The darkness led into the real nighttime. Here comes the gank from behind. They go in. Onto Darkseer. They take him out of the picture. That makes Ember's life a bit harder without the protection. They haven't got the vacuum wall. It's Brax, though, still tanking up in the front lines. Can they deal with this TA? Scope it with the Rapier. He's going to lose it. It's on the ground. Oh, no. Brax's evasion just being too much, and the TA not having an MKB working against him. They GG out. It's Cloud9 taking game 2. 2-0 victory for them. 53 minutes. Boy, did they have to work hard for that one. They came back from a 20k gold deficit. And managed to make their way into the winner bracket semi-finals here at the Summit 4. They'll be taking on the winner of Root Gaming and Complexity. That best of 3 coming up next, guys. Boy, was that something. Cloud9 showing that they can battle against adversity too. Definitely a team they were heavy favorites against, but sometimes you have those shaky early games. A team can pull out a strategy like this where they push all your towers, take objectives, take Roshan. That's like the nature of this TA Shadow Shaman, and even the Ire Bristle added in there as well. This draft looking to dominate the early game and then push towers in the mid game. C9 held on, managed to defend for long enough, managed to just kind of not give away too much. The top lane of Rax actually being lost was a bit of a setback for them. They were doing really well until that point, but hey, it was enough. They didn't. That's the thing. This is a draft where like one mistake you lose the lane of Rax, and they made that one little mistake where they did lose top, but after that, outside of that, they managed to defend against Aegis, Cheese, and more. So congrats to C9. They're through to the semi-finals of the winner bracket where they'll meet Root and Complexity. That game coming up. I'll be stepping off the mic, taking a bit of a rest, and passing the reins over to some newcasters onto BTS. I believe we have got Llama as well as Mike Loris. So those will be those who will be stepping in. I'll be stepping out for now, guys. It's been a long 4 to 5 days casting the Frankfurt Majors qualifiers. So a lot of us here resting at the hub. So we'll see you guys some other time. Enjoy the NA.TodaY coming your way. We're gonna be tuning out, taking the stream down quickly, and passing it over. See you guys soon.